Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I am Dustin. We are looking at Sound again, Sound AI, SoundHound AI Incorporated. We've been looking at this for the past few days. Now, as the data starts to load, one of the things I can pretty much tell right away is that we haven't seen any significant movement. It's just been sideways action. Essentially, if you look at the 1 day and the 5 day, we're down over 8.5 or over 8.25 over the past 5 days and down 4.8% just today. That's got to be a bloodbath if you're a part of it. I mean, the unfortunate part is that these kinds of moves are really measured in high percentages, even though the dollar amount really isn't much, but it depends what your price is, depends what you bought for. Now, if we look at where we are, we're coming back down to what looks like the 15-day moving average. Essentially, if we go ahead and look at the raw data, down here at the very bottom, we can see that now we're still positive on the 15-day, the 1 month, the 3 month, and the 6 month. We are now below the 5 day moving average consistently for 2 days. And it does look like on our price future path, we do have a price to fall. These things are not great to be seen, but depends on who you are. If you're short, you're probably super excited. But as I said yesterday, I'm expecting some sideways action. Now, if we look at the signals are saying we have an intermediate or a short term and an intermediate and a longer term still go long. And on the sentiment or the trend specifically, we still have a trend of bullish, bullish, bullish. So short term, intermediate, and longer term as well. If we look at the rolling sentiment, we do look like we're starting to get a little bit of that rising bull. But again, I don't expect that to be anything meaningful. I think what it is that we went so high, so close to the sun in terms of the bullishness that we experienced back here, the kind of the second week of March, that we essentially are now starting to see what looks like a slowdown, and then it's going to be a rise back up because you're getting there is actual action here. Yesterday, you're up 1%. You're still up over 20% over the previous 5 days as of yesterday. Today is where you're really starting to lose it because this move that we're lapping, which is really back on the 14th here, is getting ugly. This is the thing that's going to be really difficult to compare against because if you even stay here for a while, you could be up, let's say 15%, but you're still going to go down quite a bit from here, and that's going to be difficult. Like that's ultimately going to be the thing that is really, really painful from a percentage wise. And that'll probably happen tomorrow, actually, because even if we stayed at 794, tomorrow we'd be comparing on a 15-day look back to 742. So that is a humongous difference in terms of what the price is relative. So yeah, that'll come down quite a bit too, which makes sense because you were up over 120% here for a couple of days, over 200%, over 300% for a few days back there. We're really just kind of right sizing the way that the position is and the way that the ticker is acting inside of its own sector and in the overall market. Now, if we look at the trading signals, we can see that we do have some bull Q3. We only have one of those signals at the current moment. We do have some big bulls and some small bulls. Those are positive to see. I don't think that we see a lot of opportunities specific to this in the short term. I think this is probably a consolidation and a sideways motion. If we look at how the market is setting up, especially now that we get this VIX data, hopefully it just shows up. Now that we see the VIX data, the VIX is actually starting to come in a good direction for us. We're actually starting to see some risk on signals in the market. It just SoundHound may have actually experienced a lot of its expansion for now. Between February and the end of March, we've seen some aggressive moves. I mean, we've seen up over 100% in the 1 month, up over 272% in the 3 month, up over 340% in the 6 month. Not saying you won't see this thing go to like 15, or 25 or 300. I don't know. But all I can say is that what I'm seeing in the signals and the way that this thing has been moving since February 8th, it seems at $1.95. Wow. Don't even listen to me. I mean, this thing could run forever. Who knows? And to be honest, if you're watching this and you're long from that level, I would have a very, very tight stop. I mean, the way that I'm looking at this, I don't recommend this because this is not investment advice, but the way that I look at this, you can see here in the stop, I've got a stop that'd probably be somewhere around like 687, $7 or so. I'd want to probably respect that. Obviously, the stop for me is going to probably continue to come up, but the ATR has just gotten so aggressive. This expansion, the price expansion and the ATR expansion, the volatility expansion has been absolutely remarkable. I want to look at the overall chart here. We look, you can see we've got the weekly data, we've got the daily data. We scroll down, this is actually the volatility. We can see the volatility has had an expansion like you haven't seen ever before. I sound like Donald Trump now, but like this is huge. It actually is Trumpian in the sense of relative that we were under 2 for this whole historical period, and now we are up above 6. We've peaked, it looks like 6.48. That's remarkable. And it looks like now that the volatility is starting to fall, the correlation is starting to fall as well, which means you're probably going to get sideways action. I mean, the volatility is breaking out on the weekly. Good to see. And the correlation is also rising. So you're probably going to get long-term some really good movement. But for now, I really think you're going to go sideways, at least for a little bit. I just don't think that this is, I don't know if you're going to go from 8 to 16. I mean, you've gone from 2 to 8. That's already been a remarkable move. Even if you look on the weekly, we're finally starting to get somewhere close to that like $10 range, which historically has essentially been the kryptonite. This thing has never gone above 1814, but if we're being honest, this thing has really never gone above with the close 1347. So 1347 in my opinion would be considered to be the top of the range there. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? And before you go, subscribe to the New High newsletter. We give you 25 stocks to your inbox every single Sunday. Stocks breaking out between $5 and $20, stocks breaking out to 1-year highs, stocks breaking out to all-time highs. It is a great list to get your trading week started. Have a great